Okay, so now we're going to look at how to do percentages. All right, we're going to talk about percentages. The ability to work with percentages is mostly useful because percentages occur in so many important different types of problems. Maybe you're dealing with sales tax, or maybe you're dealing with a sale, percent off of something, or you're dealing with banks and it's a percentage, or credit cards. Credit cards charge a percentage for you to use them. So let's look at a couple of examples. What is 4.5% of 8,000? All right, so if I'm trying to find the percent of something, then what I'm going to do is I need to convert that percent to a decimal. So in order to convert 4.5% to a decimal, I move my decimal 2 places to the left. So I'm going to move this decimal 2 places to the left, and it becomes 0.045. Okay? Now, in math, a lot of times, not every time, but a lot of times, this word right here means to multiply. So I'm going to multiply 0.045 times 8,000. When I do that, all right, this is what I get. And I've got 3 decimal places, so the answer is 360. So 4.5% of 8,000 is 360. Let's go a little bit more difficult. What if I ask you what is 3 3/5% of 520? All right. Well, once again, I've got to change 3 3/5 to a decimal. Well, because it's a whole number, I know it's going to be 3 point something. Think about this, guys. How do I convert it to a decimal? 3/5 is the same thing as 0.6. So this would be 3.6%. Now you ask how I know that? Divide. 3 divided by 5 gives you 0.6. All right, so this is 3.6%. Now I can change that to a decimal, moving my decimal 2 places to the left. 0.036. 0.036 times 520. Multiply that through, and you're going to get 18.72. Now, let's look at a different type of problem. The number 50 is what percent of 400? I'm going to set this up into an equation. All right, so this is where our algebra comes in handy. So the number 50 usually means equal. What percent, or X percent, of 400? Now, you have been taught, when you first started talking about percentages, you were taught that percentages were something out of 100. So we're going to change this and say 50 is equal to X out of 100 times 400. So now we solve this. 50, I can go ahead and multiply this. It'd be 400x over 100 100, all right, which would be what? 50 is equal to 4x. Now divide by 4. So 50 divided by 4. 4 goes into 5 one time. Bring down my 0. 4 goes into 10 two times, which is 8. Subtract. I have to add a decimal and a 0 to bring down to get 20. So I get x is equal to 12 and a half. So we solve for x to get x is 12 and a half. So 50 is 12.5% of 400. All right, let's look at another example. The number 17 is what percent of 93? All right, so we're going to work this out exactly like we just worked the other one out. 17 is x over 100 times 93. Now, this one's not so pretty. It doesn't come out so pretty. So I get 17 is equal to 93x over 100. Here's what I would do. I would multiply through by 100. Get 1700 is equal to 93x. All right. And then with this one, because it's not going to come out so pretty, you can use the calculator. And we'll see that 1700 divided by 93, whoops, I think I hit the wrong button, comes out to approximately 18.279569. So because it does not come out evenly, it doesn't come out to a terminating decimal, we round it to the nearest tenth. So I look at the tenths, look at the number right beside it, it's a 7. So I'm going to bump that up to a 3. So it's approximately 18.3%. Okay. All right. Let's do one more. This one's going to be a little different. The number 140 is 4% of what number? So now they've given me this part and given me a percentage, and now they want to know what was the original number we started with. So I'm going to set it up. 140 is equal to, guys, go ahead and use that 4 over 100 times x. Okay? 4 over 100 times x. So you can multiply, so this is what I get. 140 equals 4x over 100. Multiply by that 100. So I get 14,000 is equal to 4x. I'm going to divide by 4. 4 goes into 14 3 times, which is 12. 4 goes into 25 times. And guys, then I just finish out those zeros. So x is equal to 3,500. Okay? So 140 is 4% of the number 3,500. All right, you will have some work that will go along with this, and it will be in your packet.